Hello and welcome back to the Pause podcast with me, Faye Cornhill.
And me, Helen Hopkins. Although that's not what you just called me, but I won't repeat what you just called me. It's time to grab a cuppa and let's dive in.
Because today we are talking about sleep.
I love sleep. Sleep's
But
my favourite thing.
Before we get there, how's your week been, Hels?
My week's been good. I am preparing to go on a big holiday.
Lovely.
We are going to Japan and Dubai
Beautiful.
for 20 days.
20 days?
Yeah.
You crazy folk.
I know. Don't tell anyone, but we've taken the kids out of school for 2 days.
Naughty. I'm telling the headmistress immediately.
What are they going to do? I'm going to have, basically going to eat my body weight in ramen and just chill out. It's been a difficult kind of 18 months. So I'm really looking forward to a proper break. And I think culturally it will just be so different to what we're used to. As you know, I'm all about the food. So I've been doing a lot of research about where to eat. But my slight problem is that obviously all of the signs are in Japanese. So it's going to be quite hard to find the places, I think.
Google Maps?
Google Maps, yeah. But I don't know the English word for the restaurant. So I'm just going to have to
point at Google Maps.
Yeah. Help me. But I'm interested to know, because I know you've got a couple of big holidays coming up. How far in advance do you pack and get yourself prepped?
A day or two.
Do you?
Mm-hmm. Depends on the time of the flight. If it's a PM flight, maybe the morning off.
And do your kids pack themselves now because they're old enough, aren't they?
It depends on where we're going. If it's like last year, we did the Greek islands and Italy.
We did.
And they were in charge of packing for themselves. When we did Kilimanjaro, I packed. Well, Phil and I packed, and that was quite an operation.
I can imagine that's a beast because there's probably a massive kit list, isn't there?
Yes, and also we were packing for the mountain and packing for 2 days of safari before the mountain, and that was like the biggest brain fart of my life because I've got walking poles in this suitcase and this and this. It was a logistical beast.
And I'm interested, do you have one case per person or do you mix it up? So do you have a bit of everyone's in all of the cases?
In the case of Killy, it was where everything goes.
Okay.
It goes kind of thing.
Yeah.
For normal holidays.
I'm not climbing a mountain.
We're a case per person now.
Yeah.
And then it's your responsibility to get that to the thing and then get it the other end. You're carrying your own suitcase.
Yeah.
Long gone are the days of mummy's got it for you. And I have to resist that because I'm a bit of an overpacker. But yeah, I've got a holiday coming up. And it will be probably the day before.
I also think it depends. So if your big holiday that's coming up, it's going to be quite a sunny holiday and you're going to be coming out of a winter season.
Yes.
So, or sort of spring season, won't you? So actually packing will be the stuff that you haven't worn for ages because it's all your summer kit and your swimmers and all that stuff.
Exactly. We're going to the Maldives. You need some bikinis and a few summer dresses, right?
Well, and your active wear for you to do whatever you're doing.
My active wear that I may or may not get out of the suitcase.
Yeah. No, I think you will.
I will.
Think you're going to enjoy the Maldives. I went there 2 years ago. I loved it. But then I did nothing and I think you're going to do it all.
Well, I've got I'm climbing Scarfell Pike the week after. So I'm considering it a personal mission to up my fitness a touch while we're there.
Nice.
But yes.
There's a lot of really fun opportunities of things to do there that you wouldn't normally do.
Yeah. But it's funny actually because packing does actually trigger me a little bit. I think that's a learnt behaviour from childhood. My mum would get quite anxious about the organisation of going on holiday.
Yes.
And the packing piece would be very much her thing.
Yeah.
She would pack for all of us. As far as I know, she still packs clothes for my dad.
Yeah.
Which is adorable and sweet, but never on my watch is that ever happen. I'm never packing for Phil.
And my other question is, do you use packing cubes or do you just go straight into this?
Straight in.
Yeah. We are so different.
I know, but yet somehow so similar. And we're going to
bezies.
And it's
good.
Maybe we're not similar when it comes to sleep, though. Should we talk about that?
We're not. I am a sleep beast. I'm giving myself the self-title of sleep beast.
Tell me about your sleep then. I don't actually feel like we've ever had this conversation.
I literally could sleep anywhere. I once travelled to the Philippines on a very, very long plane and I fell asleep on my knee. I just put a pillow between my torso and my knee.
Could you get down there now?
Yeah.
That's horrific. Yeah.
I'm glad everyone could see that.
Yeah.
I can sleep anywhere. And actually, when I started going through perimenopause, my sleep was really impacted, and that I found really, really hard. I literally am that person that I get into bed and within 30 seconds I am asleep, and I will sleep all the way through till the morning. And if I'm awake for 5 minutes trying to get sleep, I am fuming. I'm like mad, because that's just not how I sleep. Whereas my husband, really light sleeper, goes to bed much later than I do, will be awake 3 or 4 times in the night, and hates me, I think, most of the night, because I'm just there happily sleeping and he's thinking about interest rates and is the Tesla car plugged in and all that rubbish.
I find this interesting because you don't drink caffeine, do you? And I am absolutely, I'm 100% convinced. In fact, I know caffeine has a huge impact on your sleep.
It does.
If I drink caffeine past 12 o'clock,
you done for.
The world is a sorry place. And I've had it before where I am exhausted and I'm lying there and I just, to be polite, I said yes to the 3 p.m. cup of tea at someone's house, and the deep regret, and it will keep me awake. And actually, I think that 12 o'clock, I'm having to pull it back these days.
I actually am the same with any sweet things. So as you know, I was diagnosed with pre-diabetes like 7 years ago. And so yesterday afternoon, I had some chocolate biscuits, the really good ones that are like, they're the foreign chocolate biscuits and the chocolate is more than the biscuit. Oh. Do you know the ones? They're like, it's like a slab of chocolate and then they lay the biscuit in. Oh. They're really good. And I had 3 of those and I woke up at 4 this morning. Obviously, I was coming here anyway, so I was probably a bit disturbed for that. But I woke up at 4 and I was like, it's the chocolate biscuits. And I think because I don't have caffeine, actually, like the sugar impacts me. But then there's a lot of really interesting science behind having caffeine and the impact that makes to you later in life. I think there's a link to like reducing Alzheimer's and things. I don't know that because I'm not a scientist. If that's we haven't fact checked it and I'm not a medical professional. But there is definitely some really good evidence to say you should have caffeine. But it does really impact your sleep.
Yeah.
How do you sleep? Do you get into bed and fall nicely asleep?
I love sleep. I always have. Yeah. My husband has more than once in his lifetime sent me the gif of like a bear coming out of a cage. Not a cage, a cave.
A cage. Coming out. This is a slightly different gif. I'm not sure you want that word.
Coming out of a cave. And that is what I'm like in the morning, like, who dare disturb my rest?
Oh, really?
I don't enjoy people waking me from my slumber. I love going to bed. I love, because I have my little skincare routine. I sit there and I go through the paces and I put my eye mask on and I put my earplugs in and I like to go to sleep. But I think in recent times, I've become a bit of a grouch.
Oh.
Yes, because I need it to be silent.
Okay.
And I need there to be...
No heavy breathing.
Well, do you remember that time when we shared a room?
We did share a room.
And you were very heavy breathing.
But you were also snoring. So let's tit for tat.
Never snored in my life. But yeah.
Even the 3 of us were away and Jen was with us, wasn't she? Yeah. And I wasn't snoring because I was really aware of it. So I think I was like being really aware. And then in the morning, Jen was like, God, Faye was really going for the snoring. And I was don't tell her.
It's a revolt. I've never snored in my life.
Well, anyway. Jen and I are ganging up on you.
I get quite grouchy with Phil if he's like, I'm just finishing a bit of work. You see like couples in bed and like one of them's like glasses on reading.
Yeah.
The sound of the page turn would really annoy me. And the light on would really annoy me. Like I need it my way or I get quite annoyed.
Or it's the highway.
And I'm happy to admit this is a, personality defect.
I am, because I go to bed so early like you.
Yeah.
We don't go to bed at the same time. Does Phil come up at the same time?
Yes, because I force him to. As I say this out loud, what I'm realising is that I'm a bit of a nightmare.
You are. How militant you are with your sleep.
But we do sort of just go to bed together.
Yeah, Mark doesn't come up at the same time, so I'm often asleep before.
Does it not wake you up, him coming in though?
No. So I've got this little, the girls will be delighted that I tell you this, but we've got this little thing that the girls and I go up, they do their routines because they've got their routines. I take my makeup off, I get into bed, and then we all hang out in my room for a little bit. And I know it's not going to last forever, but I love the fact that for like 10 or 15 minutes, we kind of chat. We might look at some Instagram reels. obsess about Japanese food because that's where we're going in a week, and it's like actually it's like a really special moment. And then sometimes if I can't really be bothered to get out of bed, I'll shout Mark and be like, can you put the girls to bed? The girls don't actually need tuck-ins anymore, but it's like it's a nice thing to do. And then I just I go to sleep, turn my light off and go to sleep, and I literally sleep straight away. I love sleep. And we have both experienced disturbed sleep. And you were saying this morning that you are waking up at 4:30.
Yeah. Which is just a tad too early, that one, isn't it?
Because what time do you actually get up? You're quite an early riser, aren't you?
Well, so it depends really. So Phil takes Harry, who plays tennis in the mornings. So they leave the house at 6:15.
So what time is everyone up?
So Harry's up at 5.
Yeah.
Phil gets up at about 5:30. If I'm taking Harry, I'm up at 5:30. Grace gets up at 6:45 because she walks to the school bus at 7:45. So we're kind of up early.
Yeah.
But we're then quite crazy because on a weekend where we have nothing, we could all happily sleep till like 10 o'clock.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, we would all happily, if we were not disturbed.
My teenagers definitely would. They'd stay in bed as long as they can.
But I find I find this so annoying, needing a wee in the night. And more than once. Like, what in the world?
I think that's an age thing, Faye.
I know.
Said that with love. Mark gets up to go to the loo and he wakes me when he does it, but I always get back to sleep quite quickly.
That's quite nice.
But if I wake up and need the loo, I'm like, I'm not getting out.
What?
Just go back to sleep.
No.
But you can. No. I must be a camel. Maybe
you are. I just find it so irritating, the feeling of needing a wee.
Do you know what the worst bit is though? You know when you're just going to sleep and you're like, oh, I think I need a wee.
Yeah, do that every night. Squeeze another one out.
Yeah.
You can always get one out.
Just go back to sleep.
You're so actually simple in this way. In so many...
Only in this way.
Yes, only in this way. Because you're actually quite complex in many ways.
Am I?
Yeah. But in terms of sleep, you're quite straightforward.
My mum has always said, or always did say, that if anything was ever wrong, if I was ever poorly, like as a kid, you would just find me asleep. So when I was a really small baby and I had this really awful virus, and mum was really worried because I just slept for like 20 hours of the day. Like she just said, I just slept, and then one day I woke up and I was absolutely fine.
Yeah.
And I think some people's bodies are just like, it's time to shut down now.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably because of the last year with navigating grief, there's been many times that my sleep has been really impacted. And it cut me so deeply because I was like, no, like the day feels really hard. I don't want the night to feel hard too. And so I do think the HRT has helped with my sleep.
Yeah.
Because like you waking up at your 4:30 at the moment, because of grief, my sleep pattern was really, really, it was really disjointed for me. So I'd wake up a couple of times in the night, wouldn't be able to get back to sleep. I'd go through to the spare room, put the Calm app on.
Because you've got it on your mind?
No, I think just because I was just in that stress state, that sort of fight or flight of like, actually, you're just in a really difficult time. And then it becomes a habit, doesn't it? Your 4:30 wake up. It's happened a couple of nights and then it becomes a habit. So how do you switch yourself out of that habit? And for me, one of the things that I find amazing when I can't sleep is the Calm app, which is an app you pay for, and I probably only use it now once a month. But I know that I put my Harry Styles story on. Oh. Hey, Harry, let's go to sleep. He talks to me. His mum. I know.
But okay, yeah.
He's not even my type anyway. I just like his voice.
Yeah.
I think there's a Michael Bublé one.
Is there?
Sure.
Cute.
Yeah. And so I put it on. I kind of get myself comfortable. And I know that within the 30 minutes or the 40 minutes the story is, I'm always asleep within 20. And I think it's about, for me, putting myself out of whatever's going on in my brain and whatever's like making me agitated or worried.
Yeah.
We know that I'm a worrying person.
Can I tell you the thing that fills me with like dread about that though? What happens when you fall asleep in your AirPods? Where do they go? Because I'm in the other room. So there's a couple of options. Because I go into our spare room, I just put it on really low and I have my phone next to my head. So I don't have to worry about AirPods. Okay. But there's also, I think, a snooze band, it's called. And it's like an eye mask and it's got
speakers in your ear area, so you can Bluetooth it, and then obviously the story finishes, and then you just keep your eye mask on. I love an eye mask, and so do you.
Love an eye mask.
I can't guarantee the quality of snooze band because I actually didn't use it. I bought it for Mark, and I just find actually getting up and changing my environment better when I can't sleep. I'd rather go and sleep on the sofa downstairs than toss and turn next to Mark. Because he's such a light sleeper, I feel like I'm being more of an inconvenience by staying there.
Interesting. I get quite cold, as you know, Helen.
You do. Do you need Phil to warm you up?
Yeah. I can't go to the spare room.
Really? I like it because you're getting into a cold bed, warming it up.
No.
Sort of feels like you're starting again.
Yeah. I also have a hot water bottle, honestly, for the vast majority of the year.
Do you? And do you put that into your bed before you get in?
Yeah, obviously.
Would you consider one of those like heated blankets that you like? Are they uncomfortable?
Harry's got one because he likes to be all snuggly buggly, and it just
he is going to be delighted. Harry, the 16-year-old who loves to play tennis.
I don't think this podcast is going to be listened to by any 16-year-olds.
You might do.
They'll never hear it. It's a bit like lying on some wires underneath. It's not what I'm realizing is that I'm actually a bit of a nightmare. Like with my preferences for sleep. I
think, and I say this with love, you're actually just quite particular about what you do and don't like. And that is in quite a lot of your life.
Yeah. I'll give you an example. I was in a hotel room recently and the air conditioning unit, I'm sat in the bed. Okay. The air conditioning unit was over there and there was a random flipping light over here, which had no purpose.
Okay.
And I lay there and I was like, just chill out. You're on your own. It's fine. Shut your eyes. That's what Phil says all the time. Just shut your eyes and it goes away. And I'm like, no, it doesn't. It's still there. And so there's me in the middle of the night in my pajamas, because also always sleep in pajamas. We need to talk about that.
I don't understand people who don't sleep in pajamas.
Yeah, we need to come back to that. So I had to get my scarf and stuff it around this air conditioning unit, trying to tuck it in behind because I couldn't bear the green light that was emitting.
Mark is exactly the same.
It drove me mad.
I've got no idea what you're talking about. I'm already asleep.
For the other one that was on the wall, is in like a little cubby hole. I had to rip a piece of paper out of the welcome book. No, it was spare paper at the back. And mould it around this thing to cover this light. And I'm quite aware that this is obsessional and just shut your eyes, put your eye mask on. But it was doing my head in so much that I had to do those things. And only then could I relax. And of course, I'm not really relaxed. I'm quite tense at that point. Do I seem neurotic?
A little bit. And we've slept in the same room a couple of times on different trips, haven't we?
Yeah.
And you've never been like this. Is it because you're with someone?
No, you're just not that annoying.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's actually quite a compliment.
Yeah, because you go to sleep.
Oh, yeah. And then I snore.
Or
breathe. You love it when I breathe.
You did say to me, you don't mind if I, get up and listen to something. And I was a bit like, oh, well, probably a little bit, to be honest. But, don't wake me up. But you didn't.
But I didn't.
So
I actually always sleep.
I would sleep with you again.
Thanks. What a compliment. That's definitely a real. I would sleep with you again. It isn't this type of podcast.
No. Let's talk about pajamas then.
I love pajamas.
Who the hell sleeps naked? So cold.
Well, and why? Do you know why I don't sleep naked? Well, lots of reasons, because I love pajamas. But what if a spider crawled inside of me? Is that a real thing?
Do you mean in your mouth or your...
Anywhere. Well, I guess it could still happen in my mouth, couldn't it? I'm probably talking about there.
I don't know where to go with this, Hells, because if a spider could get under your bed sheets, I reckon it could get under your pajamas.
Well, now you've ruined that for me.
Your mouth isn't covered by your pajamas.
No, and people swallow spiders all the time.
Yes, something like you swallow 100 spiders in your life.
Which is disgusting.
I don't think pajamas are the protection you need against swallowing a spider or spider entering Lady Garden.
Entering Lady Garden. Ta-da! Welcome, spider.
I can't believe that's even a thought of yours.
No, I just don't understand. I also don't understand when people don't wear pants under their pajamas.
I know.
What is that about?
You don't wear pants,
pajamas
without pants.
Well, exactly. I was talking to someone about this recently, and they were like, "Why are you wearing pants?" And I'm like, "Why are you not wearing pants?"
Don't understand it.
I also, even in the summer, like a full length pajama in both in leg and arm. I'd rather wear
absolutely.
pajamas and not have a cover on me.
Correct.
See, we are the perfect match.
Yeah.
We knew it.
Yeah, we did. We predicted that, didn't we?
But let's talk about, so there's quite a lot of science behind having a cold bedroom, but that's probably your nightmare, isn't it?
Well, funny you should mention this.
Or not funny.
Or not funny. Phil loves a cold bedroom, loves the window open. And I absolutely know that the benefits of the fresh air vastly outweigh.
Yes.
I mean, you've just got to just think of the basics of oxygen, carbon dioxide exchange.
Yes.
It doesn't take a genius to work out that it's probably a good idea to have your window open.
Yes.
He loves it. He would sleep with the window open even if it was bloody Arctic conditions out there. But I prevent him from living out that dream of having the window open because I get cold.
And you put the heating on full blast?
Yeah.
Do you allow your dogs upstairs?
No.
People that sleep with dogs on their bed, what's that about?
I love my dogs more than most people in the world, but absolutely get out, no.
And the cats, we've got a cat as well, and Hugo, he's not allowed on the beds either at night time.
Just no.
He might sleep with Eve, maybe my youngest, sometimes. But dirty. I love my dogs.
No. Well, also, you've got 2 sausage dogs. I've got 2 Labradors.
Yeah.
My Labradors are basically the same size as me. Can you imagine? We have got a super king bed, but me, Phil and 2 Labradors, we're not fitting in there, are we?
My sausages would love to be in our bed. They would be the happiest of the happy.
Imagine them on.
But Mark's actually allergic to dogs.
Oh, good God.
Yeah. And so whenever we've bought a dog, we've obviously got 2. It takes him about 6 months to get through the allergy. And he sniffs and even now, sometimes if he's a bit run down, he can be quite allergic to the animals, but he loves them more than anyone.
Oh.
Yeah.
When Phil recently went walking up in Northumberland, he took Stanley, our oldest.
Did he?
Labrador. Yeah. And it was very snowy at the time. And he stayed in a cutesy little rural B&B and it was very cold. The heating went off at night in this place. It would have been my worst nightmare. And he put Stanley in the bed with him. And they had snuggles.
I bet Stanley was like this.
They were obviously both in their element. Phil was
Yeah.
like, this is so much better
Did
than
he send you
with my wife.
Did he send you a selfie of
He sent me a video.
We've got 2 dogs, Darcy and Coco would lose her mind. What's really funny though is Darcy isn't allowed upstairs, but she makes a run for it. We've got a stair gate.
Because you got your children's stair gate, haven't you?
But she makes a run for it. Whereas Coco, because she's the second dog, she came later. She freaks out if you take her upstairs, like proper freaks out. So she'd love to be on the bed, but it would freak her out so much that she doesn't understand stairs because obviously she's a sausage dog.
Yeah.
So whereas Darcy like hurls herself up and down because she's so naughty, but Coco, she just sits at the bottom whining. So if Darcy's made a run for it and all the kids are upstairs, Coco's just at the bottom going, can someone come and pick me up?
Bless them.
We love sausage.
No, I'm not sleeping with a dog.
No.
I don't. If I could set Phil to not even move, I would. I'm realising this has been quite therapeutic for me actually, Helen, because what I'm realising is that when it comes to sleep, I'm quite high maintenance.
Do you know what? It's been quite therapeutic for me because I think I'm quite high maintenance in many areas that you're not. You're like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, and you're not
and
when
now,
it comes to sleep, are you?
No.
So do you sleep with the window open?
No.
Yeah. It's really healthy too. I don't know the science, but
the other slight problem is that we only have big windows. We don't have a little window. Does that make sense?
Yes, I know your windows.
Because I picked them because they look nice.
Not practical, is it?
Not practical.
Nice to have a little one.
Yeah. And actually, we had our house rendered a couple of years ago and we couldn't open all the windows, obviously, because we had scaffolding over the whole house. And it would have been lovely to open a window, but obviously the windows are so big that anyone could have just come straight in.
Oh,
So, yeah. So, by the by, though, so we don't open our windows, but I do have my windows open in the day, so I like to air it through, which I think is a northern thing. So my parents were from Lancashire, and they used to air the house a lot.
Yes, we air the house a lot.
So often, I will try and air everything through. Although the kids are like, "Why is the window open?
Yeah,
it's
I know.
freezing."
I know.
So in terms of sleep, what's your biggest takeaway then?
That I'm really high maintenance.
You are.
I think some of the things that I do, I've just obsessed about. I go to bed very early because I do really value my sleep. And I would say that is good for people, because existing on like 5 hours sleep, that's not good for anyone, is it?
Well, I saw something recently on Instagram, so it's got to be true, but apparently sleep studies have been done on men and not women historically. So when they talk about 7 hours, that's actually for a man and it's 10 hours for a woman.
Wow.
Again, that's not factually correct, potentially, because it was on Instagram on a reel.
But I like it though.
Let's take it as fact.
I'll take 10.
Real.
I need 10.
I need 10.
Yeah, for sure. So I think my habits around going to bed are really good and healthy. And I like that I have my little routine and brush my teeth and wear my nice pajamas and make it a nice experience. But I probably have obsessed over time. But I think it becomes, it comes from knowing how I feel when I lack sleep. And that's where it comes from. It's like, I need to avoid at all costs being tired because I know that I'm not a great human and I don't do well when I'm tired. And that has been my life forever. If you ask my parents, they'd be like, Faye loves her sleep.
Yeah.
And our kids are exactly the same.
Which is
love
great,
their
isn't it?
sleep.
Don't we love a kid that sleeps?
Yes. And yeah, sure as hell. I was on that.
Yeah.
It was like the sleep police when we had babies.
Yes.
What are your takeaways?
That I love sleep, that I'm low maintenance, which if you ask my husband, he'd probably say in no area of my life is Helen low maintenance.
It's nice to have one, isn't it?
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Also, something we haven't talked about is I obviously have my daily bath, and I wonder whether that also helps my
yes.
sleep.
I remember reading on the back of a bottle of baby bath when I was bathing Harry, who used to go absolutely mental in the bath, that the whole purpose, apart from like to be clean, was that your body temperature obviously raises when you go in the bath because it's warm, and this feeling of the drop of your body temperature helps you feel sleepy.
Yes. And because I have my bath, as you know, mid-evening, I'll anytime from like 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. I don't think 5 p.m. is mid-evening, but sometimes tough day, early bath.
My bra is always off by 5.
Yeah. Well, I just want to be...
Get it off.
I want to be in my pajamas, and I often make dinner in my pajamas.
Yeah.
And eat in my pajamas.
Yeah.
All in.
Get it all off.
Yeah. I'm the same. And so for me, it's actually that my routine's really, really working.
Yeah.
And that... it's okay to have a different routine to your husband.
Yeah.
I think that's really important, because I must admit, Mark's like, I do like to come up with you. But if I'm going to sleep at 9:30, because he doesn't sleep well, 9:30 is like him going to bed at 6 p.m. almost.
Yes, that would be a pain for him.
Total pain.
Yeah.
And he just wants to watch like Mr. Beast on YouTube or whatever. Well, he's been watching that Netflix show.
17-year-old.
I know. He's been watching the Netflix show.
Yes. Which is good.
I must admit, I haven't been watching it. He also loves to watch this YouTube channel about this man that's moved to France who's building a house. And anyway, he's like all in. And it's this man was in the film industry. So it's beautifully filmed. There's loads of like panoramic. Anyway.
Beautiful.
Yeah. I think it's leaning into it. And I think don't be afraid to sleep too much.
Yeah. No such thing.
More sleep.
No such thing. Good. Well, hopefully that's useful.
Really but let us know if anyone in the comments has any amazing tips or tricks about how they get to sleep, or any techniques, or just have any questions about sleep. Because actually, we could probably find something like a sleep expert, couldn't we, who could probably give us some tips.
I think that would be really nice.
Well, we don't need sleep expert tips.
No.
But other people might.
Coming out of a cave.
That's basically, I want you to send me the GIF, or I might just ask Phil to send me.
It's quite nice. It's flattering.
Lovely.
Yeah. Good. We will see you next week for another episode. Don't forget to subscribe. Come and follow us on Instagram. Together we pause.
Amazing. See you soon. Bye.
Bye.